And we are live. All right, let's see if we can give this another go. Third time running. All right, let's do this. Welcome back, everyone, to Black Vortex podcast. I'm your host, Jay's Claim to Game. So, for this one, we're going to be doing stuff which I intended to do in the last podcast, but was not able to because, well, if you saw the last podcast, then you'll understand. But basically, what happened was I intended to talk about two things in the last podcast, which was Book of Boba Fett and the Kenobi trailer, which had recently launched on the Star Wars channel, a teaser. But right after finishing my Book of Boba Fett review, or it could just be near finishing it, my microphone fell. It didn't fall, like, the bit that holds it to my desk sort of just fell off, and I had to hold it, and I decided, "Oh, screw it. There's always another time to cover the Kenobi trailer. Um, I'll just do it next podcast when I feel like doing it next," which is what I'm doing now. Anyway, we've got two things to talk about in this podcast. We've got the Kenobi trailer, obviously, which, as I said, I intended to do last week. And we've also got the Miss Marvel trailer. The Miss Marvel trailer, which will be one of Disney Plus's new original Marvel superhero shows dropping this year. The trailer has just dropped. I mean, we did have like a promo with like behind the scenes and stuff like that, and we did have like a small like 30-second teaser for it, but we got a first trailer for it, and I want to discuss that along with the Kenobi trailer. Anyway, once again, I am chewing gum while doing this podcast. Very unprofessional, I know. So what we were doing here, anyway, Kenobi trailer first. I thought that was absolutely brilliant. Yeah, it was really what I had been hoping for ever since they were like saying, "Oh, it's like set in between episode 3 and episode 4 of Star Wars." I was like, "Yes, that is like exactly what we needed." And this trailer was so cool. Seeing like hearing Ewan McGregor was returned for the role, who was easily one of the best parts of the Star Wars prequels for me. And on off topic for a minute here, I practically grew up with the Star Wars prequels, so I didn't really hate them as much as I used to in as I used to. Sorry, damn pop-ups. As much as other people did at the time. So I was kind of shocked when people were saying, "Oh, they ruined the trilogy." All it took was a really, really mismanaged trilogy from Disney to release in the 2010s. And people suddenly realized, huh, maybe the prequels weren't that bad. I mean, I won't deny the dialogue was a bit dodgy, and but I won't deny the story they told was really great. The action was amazing. The music was great. And like George Lucas's, the way he did the camera angles, some of the moments, they were all great, and they easily outweigh the negatives, despite that being a lot of them. They easily outweigh the negatives for me in that trilogy. And I had wanted to see Ewan McGregor return to play Obi-Wan for quite a while, so it was really cool seeing him return and be like, yeah, this is really awesome. And the trailer itself, you have like the Inquisitors from like Star Wars Rebels, and I think I'm one of the 8 people who actually enjoyed Star Wars Rebels. That was pretty damn cool seeing them like with their swinging, that really awesome spinning double-bladed lightsaber, if you know what I mean. That was like really cool, and like seeing Luke Skywalker, a young 5-year-old Luke. You actually see a bit of him growing up on the farm, and you see Uncle Owen, and that was really cool. And you see Obi-Wan like going on about how the war's been lost, and oh my god, the music was amazing. It was amazing. Hear like Duel of Fate after so long. That is like incredible, because that was easily, I think everyone can agree, John Williams' music has been sensational throughout all 9 films of the Star Wars trilogy, and all Star Wars trilogies. And Duel of Fates has always been a fan favorite. That epic scene with Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon like fighting Darth Maul. There's that epic music, the way it predicted how Anakin's fate would turn out and stuff like that. It was incredible. Just gonna get a drink. Okay, it was awesome, like, hearing them go on and, like, vibing and mixed with, like, the music from episode 3, Anakin's betrayal, all that stuff, and I think they might have and, like, that side and that final shot of him, like, probably holding a lightsaber, about to ignite it, getting back in action to save some people. Pure amazement, man. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about some of the stuff I want to see in this series because this trailer pretty much sold everything I wanted to see. However, there is some stuff that I am still hoping to see. One, I want to see Obi-Wan and Uncle Owen team up in this show. I want to see them perhaps team up uh, to help save a couple of people because maybe we could learn that Uncle Owen had like some elements to like fighting in the Clone Wars, or like maybe we get to see sort of like camaraderie form between them, and and then we sort of see Uncle Owen's mindset change, where he's like, "Yeah, I don't want my nephew to get involved with it." And you see him learn about what happened to Anakin Skywalker, how he became Darth Vader, the Emperor's apprentice, and we can see the Inquisitors. Though I have to say, only Obi-Wan can only take down one of them. I mean, he can fight them, but in terms of canonicity, going in with Star Wars Rebels, where they were pretty much released into the mainstream for Star Wars fans like myself, he can't really kill any of them. He can only kill one of them because the other three, I'm not sure which one he can take out, but I'm pretty sure 3 out of 4 of them that we saw appeared in Star Wars Rebels, which is set around 5 or 6 years before A New Hope. And from the way this trailer looked, we can assume that Obi-Wan Kenobi is set around 7 or 6 years after Revenge of the Sith, so about 12 years before A New Hope. So yeah, for canonity's sake, and because Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels are still canon to the overall story, that is pretty much what we need to say for like canon's sake. Also, I also want to see Darth Maul appear in this series. I know that is completely out of the. I know for some people there might be something that prevents it, like, oh, will Star Wars Rebels country? I would love to see him and Obi-Wan have like a duel in the desert. This emotionally charged one, like we saw in Rebels, but maybe it could be different. Maybe it could be like on this distant planet, or like on a ship, or like stuff. And maybe we could see Darth Maul like attack the Inquisitors, and he could like the Emperor could have instructed them to like take him down, which would be really cool. And you could see elements of the Jedi Holograms. Like, I am really looking forward to Obi-Wan Kenobi as a series. Yeah, so that's basically my thoughts on that. What I'd love to see in that show, and what I overall thought of the. Just gonna readjust my mic. What I overall thought of the trailer, and what like I said, what I want to see, what I'm hoping for. Anyway, moving on to the next topic of today's video, Miss Marvel. So, for those of you who don't know, a couple of days ago, Marvel finally dropped the first trailer for its 6-episode miniseries, Miss Marvel, and I'll be going over that. I'm just going to go over the background for it. The Miss Marvel TV show was pretty much announced on Disney Plus Investors Day, where they like announced all the new projects they got in line. Like, they lost around Moon Knight. They made it. They announced it around Moon Knight, and She-Hulk. They showed a couple of clips, and then they released a promo for it, which was like the head writer Bishop K. Ali and Kevin Feige on that what they want to do with the series, and then you had like them announcing the directors who would be playing Miss Marvel. Iman Vellani, I think that's her name. I apologize if I got it wrong. You have her talking about what it's like to play her. And then we had like a 30-second trailer called Sizzle, I think. We showed a couple of clips. And the internet's a fan general reaction to some of those trailers, the original ones for the show was a bit mixed. Some were like, "Oh, the comic! I love the comic. It's this show's like half as good as that. It's gonna be amazing." And I was like, "Oh, well, that comic sucked. Not looking forward to this. Gonna be all woke, PC, blah." And yeah, I had that fear, especially since the creator of the show, Bishop Hayes Ali, some of her controversial tweets came out, and some of the ways, yeah, that sort of made me go, I'm not sure about what the direction this show's gonna take now. But I was but I wanted to encourage really open mind and at least wait until the first trailer came out for it. And overall the trailer I thought was okay. Yeah, I thought it was okay as first trailers go, and as a first look at the show overall, as like a full look overall, actually was all right. And I'm sort of, but there are some tendencies I have with it. Okay, first of all, the song choice for the trailer was awesome. The Weeknd's Blinding Light playing over this cool remix, and I saw like the visual style of it, which showed all these drawings and sort of the way it was being approached like a comic book was really awesome. I really liked that, and it showed her thought process and how she's a huge Avengers fan, Miss Kamala Khan, that is, and then which I really like. And then there are some tendencies I have, like it doesn't really feel like a proper MCU show. It just sort of feels like, your Saturday morning Disney Channel original series that only lasted for 2 seasons. But then everyone looks back on it with nostalgia value like, "Oh, those were the times," and all that stuff. Which, I'm not sure that's the direction I essentially want to see an MCU show go in, especially considering the darker direction that the previous shows went in last year, like Hawkeye, Falcon Winter Soldier, Loki, and WandaVision, especially the direction those went in, which I'm left going, which I liked. I like the dark direction they took it, and I get it. Sometimes you got to have a bit of like just a fun show, but the overall feel of this show and like there was a controversy caused by the fact that they changed her powers, and apparently she had like stretchy abilities and numerous stuff, and people didn't like that they sort of changed it to fit Captain Marvel's like cosmic abilities overall. Which, I guess feels sort of me, but sometimes you gotta pick what fits better on the screen, and they still did sort of keep her stretchy powers, incorporating it overall to her new cosmic blaster hands and stuff. And and I sort of did enjoy the approach it was going. It did sort of fit the way they were talking about it in a pre-production before with those little like promo clips of all the interviews. It did fit that direction. So we should have been expecting it from that first trailer. Um which I sort of was. I expected like a story about a girl finding herself and all that stuff, sort of like the Disney princess route, because Marvel is owned by Disney, obviously has been since around early 2010s. And overall, trailer wise, I give it around a 6 or a 7 out of 10, mainly because it didn't like raise my excitement, but it didn't do anything to dampen it. And there were some stuff I really did enjoy about it. The one thing I'm confused about is a costume for the show. That is like, of course, they showed an earlier picture of it. It was similar to Captain Marvel's original costume in the 2019 movie. Which and she had, and a lot of people liked it because she had like a chicken. She had like these yellow, which are meant to be a haircut, sticking out of the helmet. And so I think they might have changed it. I'm not sure. I just didn't see a lot of it in that trailer. I saw the more traditional, comic book esque costume from the comic books and the 2020 Square Enix Avengers game for the PlayStation. That's more of I saw in this trailer. So, and I forgot to mention, they did reshoots for this show, like around after Spider-Man No Way Home release, that was getting great reviews. They announced that they were doing reshoots for this film, Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, another thing I'm really looking forward to, which is coming out on May 6th, so not long to go for that. And I was just thinking, like, that I actually preferred that costume over the last one. Yeah. And I have to address this. I made a mistake in my first podcast. I know, right? Shocker. Oh, he made a mistake. No, don't go like that. Yeah, and I was just like, when I was talking about the Batman and how I saw it and talking about how great it is, I talked about the cast. And when I came to talking about Catwoman, played by Zoe Kravitz, which I did know in Provence, I called her Zoe Saldana, the woman who's best known for playing Gamora. And I don't know how I made that mistake. It was my first podcast. You tend to make mistakes on those. And I was just, and it took a while. Someone pointed it out to me, someone who had seen it, and I was like, "Oh my god!" And he jokingly told me, "I think Zoe Kravitz is going to be a bit offended about calling you Zoe something." And hopefully, she doesn't see this. This channel is still relatively small. 6 subscribers, going strong. Woo! And so yeah, I think I got confused because everyone's talking about the Adam Project, a Netflix film that just came out last weekend, which I will be talking about in the next podcast we do. Yeah, and so yeah, that's sort of like yeah, mistake on my part. I admit it. And I know she's sort of a bit of controversy recently with the fact she's talking about how she was rejected about the Dark Knight Rises, and people were saying it was implied that it was because of racism. Perhaps she was accusing Chris Nolan or the casting producers of that trilogy of racism. People stood up, oh, privileged, as most people on the internet tend to do, not erotic. And yeah, so that's sort of like just, and I don't really dig that deep into it, but, I might not too, but I don't feel like getting into another possible celebrity scandal for this podcast. I might do in the future. Um, anyway, so thank you so much, everyone, for listening. Remember, be sure to like and subscribe. It is really appreciated. Shows your support for the channel, whether you're watching this live right now or just in advance, like once this goes as a video instead of a live stream. I really appreciate you tuning in. It is greatly supported. Do consider checking out the previous 2 episodes of the podcast. You can find them easily on my channel page. Now subscribe, because we are at 6 subscribers right now, going for 100. We're gonna try and catch them all, as Pokemon would say. Anyway, I've been Jay's Claim to Game, and this has been the Black Vortex podcast. Goodbye.